hunter sets a trap in the forest. He places a sharp blade on a wooden surface, and covers it with honey mixed with alcohol. After some time, a starving bear arrives. It smells the sweetness, and starts licking it. The honey tastes so good, and the alcohol numbs the pain. So even when the bear's tongue gets cut by the hidden blade, it doesn't feel the pain. It just keeps licking. More sweetness, more damage, silently, until its body becomes weak, and it collapses, dead. Not because of hunger, but because it never realized it was hurting itself. This is exactly how dopamine works today. Scrolling for hours, porn, masturbation, constant stimulation. It all feels sweet in the beginning, but it slowly cuts your focus, your energy, your discipline. And because it feels good, you don't notice the damage. You are not addicted to pleasure. You are addicted to pain you cannot feel. And if you don't control your mind will slowly destroy you. So in this video, we learn practical and scientific methods to make mind our slave. Look at yourself, not the version you pretend to be, not the version you show online, but the version that sits alone with your thoughts. That version knows the truth. Your mind is not under your control right now. It is reacting. It is escaping. It is repeating patterns you never consciously approved. And the worst part is this: you are aware of it, but still not in control of it. Now listen carefully. This is not a motivation speech. This is not inspiration content. This is a system reprogramming guide for human mind control. And if you follow this properly, not emotionally but practically, your relationship with your mind will change permanently. Not instantly, but structurally. Because the mind is not controlled by force. It is controlled by systems, repetition, and pressure design. Now understand something fundamental. Your mind has 3 layers. First layer is impulse. Second layer is emotion. Third layer is identity. Most people live only in the first 2 layers. Impulse says do it now. Emotion says I feel like it or not. And they never reach identity. But real control begins at identity level. So the goal is not to suppress thoughts. The goal is to rebuild the system that produces thoughts and reactions. Now we start the transformation. Not with motivation, with awareness collapse. Because as long as you believe your thoughts are you, you cannot control them. But the moment you see thoughts as mechanical patterns, control begins. Now observe your daily life. You decide something in the morning. I will study, I will work, I will focus. But by evening, the pattern is broken. Why? Because your mind was never trained to obey commands. It was trained to respond to feelings. And feelings are unstable. So your life becomes unstable. Now we change that structure. We are going to install a new operating system inside your mind. A system based on execution rules, consequence linking, identity, repetition, attention, control, behavioral automation. This is not theory. This is mental engineering. Now before we go deeper, understand this. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are simply operating without structure. And any system without structure becomes chaotic automatically. So the solution is not try harder. The solution is build structure that removes the need for trying. Now the first shift begins. From today, you stop negotiating with your mind. No debate, no discussion, no emotional delay. If action is required, action begins. Not when you feel ready, not when motivation arrives, not when conditions are perfect, but when the thought appears. Because delay is where control dies. Now pause and understand this deeply. Every time you delay action, your brain learns one thing: you are not serious. And every repetition of that creates identity shift in the wrong direction. So we reverse it. Immediate execution becomes identity signal. Not effort, not motivation. Signal. Now I want you to imagine something. A version of you that never delays. A version that starts instantly. A version that does not argue internally. That version is not imaginary. That version is trained, not gifted. Now this is just the beginning layer. We are going to rebuild how you think, how you decide, how you respond. Part 2. Execution control system. Building obedience to action. Now we go deeper. You already understand something important. Your problem is not knowledge. Your problem is not intention. Your problem is execution gap. You know what to do, but you do not do it immediately. That gap is everything. Because in that gap, your mind takes over. And when mind takes over without structure, it creates delay, excuses, and distraction loops. So now we remove that gap completely. The core rule of control from this moment. You introduce one principle into your system. Action begins before thinking completes. Not after motivation, not after planning, not after comfort, before full internal discussion finishes. Because the longer you think, the weaker execution becomes. Now understand this carefully. Your mind has a natural behavior. It tries to simulate outcomes before action. It asks, what if I fail? What if I delay? What if I don't feel like it? This simulation is the source of paralysis. So we interrupt simulation with movement. The 3-second rule. Now install this rule. When you think of doing something important, you have 3 seconds. Not 30 minutes. Not 10 minutes. 3 seconds. Within those 3 seconds, you either start the action, or you lose control to resistance. Because after 3 seconds, your mind builds alternative narratives. This is neuroscience level behavior reality. Now imagine your normal life. You think, I should study. Then your mind says, let me check phone first. Let me relax a bit. I'll start in a while. And suddenly, hours disappear. Now you change that pattern completely. Thought immediate movement. No transition phase. Why this works? Because your brain is not designed for delayed execution. It is designed for survival-based reaction. Fast action equals clarity. Slow action equals confusion. So when you reduce delay, you reduce internal resistance. Training method, daily practice. Now you don't just understand this, you train it. Daily structure. Morning. First task starts within 60 seconds of waking awareness. No phone delay. No thinking phase. Afternoon. Every task begins immediately after decision. Night. Review. How many delays happened today? Not emotionally. Logically. Just count. Because awareness kills repetition. Mirror instruction. Control reflection. Now add this layer. Every night, you mentally review yourself like a system log. Not I was good or bad. But, where did I delay? Where did I obey instantly? Where did resistance win? This creates self-observation distance. And distance equals control. Part 3, Habit Rewiring plus Dopamine Control System. Now we go deeper. Your mind is not just behavioral. It is chemical. Every action is rewarded or punished internally through dopamine response. So if your dopamine system is uncontrolled, your behavior is unstable. The real problem, your brain is overtrained on instant entertainment, fast reward loops, low effort stimulation. So deep work feels painful, not because it is hard, but because it is slow reward. System reset principle. We reset reward structure. Not by removing pleasure, but by reassigning reward timing. Rule 1, Delayed reward training. Any important task must not give instant reward. You train your mind to accept effort first, reward later. Not reward first, effort maybe. Rule 2, Short burst discipline. You do not force long sessions. You train short controlled bursts. 10 minutes focus, 5 minutes break. Repeat. Because control is built in repetition, not duration. Rule 3, Discomfort tolerance. Now this is key. Your mind avoids discomfort automatically. So you practice staying inside discomfort slightly longer each, not extreme. Just controlled resistance exposure. Part 4, Identity Reconstruction System. Now we go to deepest layer. Everything above changes behavior, but identity controls permanence. Your identity is built from repetition. What you do repeatedly, what you avoid repeatedly, what you tolerate repeat. Old identity loop. I try, I fail sometimes, I delay sometimes. This creates unstable identity. New identity loop. I execute immediately, I correct quickly, I don't negotiate with impulses. This creates structured identity. Now important truth. You do not become disciplined first. You become disciplined through repeated disciplined actions. Identity follows behavior, not opposite. Part 5, 7-day control rebuild system. Now full system activation. Day 1 to 2, awareness training. Detect delays, no judgment. Final state. If you complete this properly, you will notice less internal debate, faster decisions, reduced distraction pull, stronger focus stability. Not perfection, but control shift.